Hi everybody, I'm Darren Moore and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch this video in particular. But let me give you an update on a channel called Sport City. Yes, Sport City. It is a channel dedicated to everything related to Jamaican sports. Football, cricket, athletics, netball, rugby league, rugby union, tennis, lacrosse, swimming, you name it, we got it on Sports City. And what is the channel designed to do? It is designed to highlight Jamaican talents across all of those sporting disciplines. If you're a Jamaican and you're playing that sport, then we got you covered on Sport City. So it's quite simple, guys. Hit the subscribe button to Sport City right now. This video is brought to you by MPEC Printery, specializing in t-shirt printing, posters, and shipping from the USA. Call 876-775-6692 or 876-337-7374. Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the channel where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. So, folks, if you haven't already, I encourage you as well to check out the videos that were uploaded today, the lives that took place early today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about it. What adjustments? What are your thoughts about it? In relation to Jamil Matt, the Reggae Boys pool of left backs, right backs, goalkeepers, and in addition to that, does Mexico's fan ban affect Jamaica in the CONCACAF Nations League that is coming up? So that is something to consider. Yep, this is really, really something to consider. Something we really, really have to think about as well. However, this video in particular is about Paul Hall. And we all know who Paul Hall is. The man who is the interim head coach from 2021 to 2022. Yep. A man who basically captured the hearts of many Jamaican persons, not only with the ball at his feet, but also in the style that the Jamaican team were playing in post Theodore Tapper Whitmore. He holds a UEFA A pro license. It's funny actually because Paul Hall's degree at Staffordshire University came in sports journalism. This is 2015. He has two sons, Paul Jr. and Corey. And now we're talking about potentially a different opportunity that could be coming his way. So, as you know, for the past decade, he's been with Queen's Park Rangers in the capacities from the under 14s all the way up to the under 23s and eventually the interim as the in the first team. And for this person in particular, Paul Hall, and there's also Micah Hyde that is in the under 18s head coach as well. Now, with Paul Hall, remember his position, his role was just for a few games. Just for a few games, he was in the hot seat for because right now, the head coach is Neil Critchley, the man that used to be at Blackpool and was a stand-in as well at Liverpool. I was part of Liverpool's under 18s and under 23s as well. QPR are pushing to get into the playoffs, and back-to-back wins could help them do that. Now, here's the thing. The situation now is an opportunity could be on the way for Paul Hall. And what is that specifically? Well, to give a little bit of context as to the reason for the title in particular and why that club, it basically stems from the Pompey News Now podcast, which is basically the Pompey is the nickname for Portsmouth. So Manchester United Red Devils, Portsmouth, Pompey. So basically it is surrounding anything related to Portsmouth Football Club. Now, on the podcast, it was revealed that former Fratton Park favourite Paul Hall, Fratton Park is the ground where Portsmouth play their games. Former Fratton Park favourite Paul Hall is interested in Pompey's head coaching role. The former Jamaican international has spent the last 10 years at QPR, recently stepping in as interim first team manager. And the News, which is based in the south of England, understands that QPR's first team coach is open to a reunion with a club he served for 5.5 years as a popular player. Hall established himself as a highly regarded coach during his time at Loftus Road, rising from overseeing from the under 14s to becoming the head coach of the under 23 team. So that tells everything that we need right there. Why Portsmouth, though? Well, Paul Hall was a Portsmouth player from 1993 to 1998. During that period of time, he scored 37 league goals in 188 appearances for the club. Now, Paul Hall's most prolific time as a striker came when he was at Portsmouth. The 5.5 season he spent, there are some wonderful memories to basically embrace at this point in time. Really, 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 really great memories that you could remember. Remember, Paul Hall got into the national team based on his performances. Remember? He was called up for Jamaica based on his performances for Portsmouth. Yep, that is right. That is basically how he got into it in particular. And what was interesting was that, yeah, for the majority of that spell of time, they were operating within that second tier, you could say. But he certainly did well in terms of the performances that he gave. Fitzroy Simpson was also there at Portsmouth as well. You know, also did a great job with him. Also did a really, really good job with him. So, what is the reason for this? Danny Cowley, who was the Portsmouth manager from 2021, he is no longer the manager at Queen's Park Rangers right now at Portsmouth. He was sacked on January 2nd, with his side sitting 12th in the table. The owners have decided that this is unacceptable and that the club needs to move in another direction. The club needs to move in a direction where they have somebody who the fans will get behind. And to be fair, one of the players who the fans are looking and could get behind is Paul Hall. Same Paul Hall, you know? That's basically who they're looking to get. No, not as a player, but as the manager of the club itself, the manager of Portsmouth Football Club right now. That is the position. And Portsmouth again today, they lost. Portsmouth fell today. 3-0 to Bolton. And now Portsmouth are 15th within League One. Simon Bassey is the interim caretaker manager right now at the club, but it's anticipated that he'll have the position until, or maybe around the end of the month or another week. And then, of course, adjustments will be made. But certainly, as it relates to Paul Hall, I'll give my take about it, and if I think this would be a good opportunity. So, in my opinion, personally, I think it's great that there are clubs that are willing to give opportunities to former Jamaican internationals. It is such a wonderful time now when you see persons like a Joby McAnuff getting an opportunity when he was at Leighton Orient. It's absolutely fantastic seeing Darren Moore in the position where he is, Dion Burton, Micah Hyde, Jamal Campbell-Rice, and others getting these opportunities. I'm absolutely delighted. And when you go over to North America, the Wolde Harrises have you know. So yeah, that's basically the situation, folks. In all seriousness, I think that's a great opportunity for him. This is okay, and let's just a reminder, this is League One. So he's in the championship right now, but this is League One, but this would be potentially an opportunity in the first team to be the manager of the club itself. Claudette says, is it a progressive move? That's a very, very good question, Claudette, if I'm being completely frank and honest with you, because the opportunity, Paul Hall is a first team coach at a team that is in the second tier of English football, and he is getting the top job, the managerial position in the third tier of English football, in an environment where he was loved and appreciated by fans for almost half a decade, well, for over half a decade. And it's an environment that he's familiar with, a culture that he knows quite well. He's a former player, he was successful, so the fans will easily be a magnet towards him. It's also going to be another challenging environment. Whereas compared to where he is right now at QPR, he is just the first team. As we saw, as interim, he did not get the job full time, right? At QPR. Is he the manager right now at QPR? We know Neil is the man in charge right now. So it's a decision time. It's really tough decision. Paul is 50 now. He's 50 years old. And for him to be in the top job, in the top position, at an established club such as Portsmouth that has good history, where Jamaicans have gone there and succeed, because let's not forget, Lindy de la Pena, Lindy de la Pena won the league at Portsmouth. Lindy de la Pena won the league at Portsmouth. Just let that sink in for a moment. He went there and succeeded. So it would be fantastic to see another Jamaican follow in that passage. I know it's going to take a lot of decision making. Perhaps the family might have to move from London and go down south, or Paul makes the commute from London and goes down south to Portsmouth on the English south coast. So that's something that needs to be considered. So if I'm being completely frank and honest with you, Claudette, this decision, this move right here, is tricky. I think Paul Hall, if he goes, he needs to get a 3-year deal. You can't just give him 18 months and expect miracles to happen. As a club, you're going to need the time, the energy, the resources to reinforce it, because he's going to come in with his new ideas, with his prospects, with how he wants to approach the game. And the reality is that the players that are currently at the club of Portsmouth, he might say, well, how I want to play, I might need, for an example, a Richard King. I might need, for an example, a Adrian Mariappo. I might need an Andre Blake. I might need a Shamar Nicholson. I might need a Tyreek McGee. I might need a Devon Speedy Williams. You guys see where I'm going with this? All right. Reese Oxford, what is the deal? He has not been contacted by the GFF, my friend. Nitro says, I'm sorry for Portsmouth if they go for him. Why are you sorry for Portsmouth? I don't understand the logic with that statement, to be quite frank with you. Why would you be sorry for Portsmouth? I don't know why you would say that, you know? Please do expand. You know? I'd love to hear the reason why. Let's hear what you have to say. No, let's hear what you have to say. They will be shipping goals. Well, Nitro, when you have a new team, you know that it's going to take time to be able to put in that system that is needed. And if Paul Hall is able to not only get in the position, but if he's in a position where the budget is there to invest, then I see no reason why he cannot be able to dip in and say, let's get a Richard King. All right, let's bring in a Kyle Ming. All right, and let's bring in this lad over here. I don't see why not. I think that's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with that if the budget comes in. And hopefully it is something that does happen, you know? That's what needs to happen. I don't think I want to see Blake, Boza, and Co. in English third tier, Simon. You would rather have Andre Blake in the MLS than have him in England? I just want to know, Mr. Galaxy. I just want to know how you feel about that in particular. If an opportunity is not there for Andre Blake in a championship, he will go to League One and he will stand out amongst the rest. Eyes will be on him, and people will see that his quality is way bigger than what League One is all about, and then get the opportunity to play at a championship level or even higher. I can understand what you're saying as it relates to Boza, but Richard King, it would be an opportunity that you cannot refuse. If Richard King gets to England, he's 21 now, I believe. This is the perfect time. Perfect time. 22 in November. Now is the time. Now is the time. Jamaican football is highlighted as afternoon, Simon. I know the situation as it relates to the work permit. Richard King has played a lot of games in 2022, so I know the ranking is the biggest influence, unless a huge transfer fee is paid, because as we've seen players in the past of other nationalities, a way to bypass this is paying a transfer fee of 30 million pounds, like Mkhitaryan that went to Manchester United. Armenia is not going to be top 50 in the world. I think they were like in the hundreds at the time, or 90s or thereabouts. But Manchester United had to get 30 million thereabouts to be able to trigger so that he can be able to get the work permit to play in England. So that's where that is. But it's something to consider and something to think about. This is an opportunity. We'll see what the next week or so will present, but it's something that has to be thought about carefully and has to be processed in a good manner. And there's a number of questions that Paul will have to think. And the questions that he'll have to ask himself are simply these. Question 1. Is my family going to move with me to the South Coast? What do I need to be successful in League One? What sort of environment am I in? These are things that need to be considered. I get what you're saying with King, but he's young, but Blake is 32. Time isn't exactly on his side. Yes, I understand exactly what you mean, Mr. Galaxy, but I would rather have Andre Blake in England at League One than have Andre Blake in MLS until he's 40. That's my personal thoughts. We've seen that he's already gone and conquered North America. 3 MLS Goalkeeper of the Year awards. The city of Philadelphia loves him. For the past 9 seasons, approaching 10, he's been a hero. I think it's a great opportunity to challenge. I think it's a great opportunity to challenge. So why not? I don't see why there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? I think it's something to consider. I think it's something worth considering. So I'm intrigued to hear what you guys will have to say where this is concerned. So yeah, that's where we are right now. Paul Hall is a good coach, plays good football. I appreciate that, Mr. Galaxy. I'm just thinking about an opportunity, an experience which will allow Andre Blake to ply his trade professionally in England. I'm sure we all want to see that. See that. Oh, Blake can get better options. Absolutely. I'm hopeful about that as well. The hierarchy of Portsmouth are looking for a new head coach. They have won a league match in 9 games. So that's where they are. So it's something worth considering. And the Football League World.co.uk website did an article today, and under the subheading the verdict, this is what they had to say. Whilst Hall was well regarded as a player at Portsmouth, that's not always a good thing when it comes to considering a managerial role at that very club. If things go wrong, then it can be hard to see supporters turn against an individual they once admired, and it would be perhaps a difficult first full-time senior management job to step into. Portsmouth fans have high expectations, and they've spent far too long in League One now for a club of their stature. They need someone in who can transform the fortunes of the club. There are some experienced names with a lot of pedigree that appear to be keen on the role, so for that reason, Hall probably won't be one of the favourites, even if he wants it. Well, that's the word from Football League World.co.uk. And my thing about it is this: why is it always negative first? Yeah, if this happens, then bam, bam, bam. But imagine if it works out well. Why does it always have to be about the negative aspect? Why is it always about the worst case scenario first? Why do we always think in that night, that tone? I don't think that's necessarily fair. Why should it be looked upon in that light? That's not fair, isn't it? Well, not at all. It shouldn't be. Simon, can a League One team afford Blakey's salary compared to MLS? Very few clubs in League One have the budgets. Very few have the League One in terms of that. Very few. Phil Powell says, spoke to him at his sports bar last week on the same topic. I told him he needs to go to England to move to the next level. If you never been to Blake Kickout in Maypen, go and check it out. Nice food and good atmosphere. I've never been, but definitely something I'll consider. Paul should start at League Two and work his way up. Yeah, but you have to look at the opportunity, you know? You have to look at the opportunity. Is there an opportunity at League Two? That's the factor that needs to be considered, you know? That's the thing that we need to consider. Is there an opportunity? And if so, is the opportunity one where he's going to get the time and energy and resources? Because if he's just going to come in and just go through the paces or just go through the motions, then it doesn't make sense, honestly. So, but you can let me know how you feel about that. But personally, so that's how I feel about it personally. You know. So, yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, humans are just attracted to negative news. sad, my friend. It's sad. So, Nilvado Júnior, muito obrigado para tu pergunta, meu amigo. Muito obrigado, muito obrigado, muito obrigado, muito obrigado. In my opinion, yes, I do think that Portsmouth stands a very, very good chance in order to get to the playoffs. I still think they're still halfway there, so why not? Why not? Why not? I still think there's a chance, Nilvado. Nilvado Jr., brasileiro, português. Soy amaquino. Soy amaquino. Sí. Sí, amaquino, señor. So. Tem outra pergunta, meu amigo Nivaldo? Outra pergunta? Paul Hall is the assistant coach at QPR. I don't think he will go to a League One club, or if they offer him a good contract, and also the club itself want to invest in themselves to go to the Championship. I understand what you're saying, Sean, 36.79. But put yourself in Paul's shoes for a moment. You've gotten a brief taste of what being the number one, being the man in charge is like. You got an experience with Jamaica, and you got an experience on an interim basis with QPR. That only is going to whet Paul Hall's appetite even more for opportunities. And while I'm not telling him leave QPR because they've been so great to him the past decade, what I would say is I'm interested to hear what sort of package Portsmouth will have for him. And if it is one that meets his expectations, then all the best to you, because he's 50 now, and this is the time in the hot seat. And if he doesn't take this opportunity now, will he ever get an opportunity as it relates to being the manager? Will he? Something we'll have to consider, you know? Something we really, really have to consider. Do you think John Russell should move to West Brom? I mean, it would be closer to home. And I think it would be great in the sense of getting playing opportunities. Yorkshire is a compelling place. Really, really compelling place. In the Midlands, he'll be more in tune with the Jamaican culture and so on, because the Midlands, by extension, Birmingham, Walsall, Coventry, Wolves, Handsworth, Jamaican culture right there. When you go up to Yorkshire, unless you're in Leeds, Chapeltown, South Yorkshire, Sheffield, not really much, Jamaican links there or things that could keep you connected to the country or the community. So personally, on a playing standpoint and an off the field standpoint, it wouldn't be a bad move at all. Sou do Brasil, muito obrigado pela sua atenção. Thank you. Yes, my friend. Yes, my friend. Yes, my friend. Man. Same problemas. Which basically means no problem. Guys. Yes. My friend Nivaldo, I have a question for you. Como está o Brasil agora? Como está o Brasil agora? Agora em Brasil. Muy bien. Calor, caliente, ahora. Well, it's great that we have fans from all over the globe, guys. Brazil, England, Somalia, all over the place, Jamaicans are certainly everywhere, which is great, which is really, really great. Muito quente. Entiendo, entiendo. Muito quente. He's basically saying very hot. Very hot. Picante. Caloroso. Intenso. Very hot. El mismo en Jamaica. El mismo en Jamaica. Yeah. Mesmo en Jamaica. Yep, Portuguese. Yeah, Portuguese. Late to the dance, big Simon at work, my bossy passing through. Mr. Webster, how are you doing? How are you doing? Hope all is well. You want to hop in the live for a few minutes? Talk for 5 minutes? You can if you want. The link is there. If you're just passing through, then cool. If you have any questions, we just recap the information. All right? Yeah, man, we can do that. Link is right there. Pompey is a big club with rich history, fallen from grace since the days of Redknapp, but I think he would be a great move for Paul Hall. Yeah, I remember when they got relegated from the Premier League and then relegation, and then they went to League Two and slowly building their way back up. I remember vividly that campaign. Yeah, unfortunate to see the demise that they made in that time frame. It really, really was unfortunate, sort of situation. Yes, Portuguese class, Mr. Galaxy. Take out your notes. Take out your notes right now. Take out your notes right now. Let's see what you guys saying. Entiendo. El mismo en Jamaica. En Jamaica, en el Caribe, el mismo ahora. Do you think Oxford is a good option for the pool of centre backs? Yes, he is. He is a very, very good option. And if you guys want me to do a video as it relates to centre back pool that Jamaica should have, then smash the like button and let's get this video to 100 likes. And it's something that I'll run for sure. So give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts about it. Let me know how you guys feel. And then we take it from there, shall we? But yes, I would have to agree with you. 100%. Would have to agree with you, 100%. Ethan Pinnock has to be there as well. Has to. Simon, any overseas players getting their first cap against Mexico? Possibly. As if we were in Canada. Mr. Webster, français, parlez français en Canada. Parlez français au Canada parce que c'est très fantastique. Le français, c'est plus facile que l'espagnol et portugais en français. Plus facile que anglais, l'espagnol et beaucoup plus. Sí, sí, eu lembro. Ano passado, eu lembro. See. Simon, any overseas players getting their first cap? Yeah, possibly. Assisti. Pinnock is the first defender on the plane to the Gold Cup or to Mexico for the Nations League. Right. Yeah. I fully get you. Fully get exactly what you're saying there. Yeah. Can't ignore it. Can't ignore it at all. The work that he has done and everything can't be brushed aside. You know? So I would have to agree with you there. Hands down. Hands down. I know. Hablo español in high school. Colegio, amigo, colegio. ¿Estudia español en Jamaica o Canadá o los Estados Unidos? ¿Qué país? Which country did you study Spanish? In Jamaica, in Canada, in the States, in the UK? Where did you study the language specifically? Tell me, where did you study the language? People, Reese Oxford not interested to play for Jamaica. How much time? I don't want to hear that. So probably 9 months ago, I spoke to his grand uncle, Neville Oxford. And what Neville Oxford was saying was that he still harbors hopes of playing for England, but he basically gave the impression that if Reese was not in an England shirt by the time that he turned 25, then Jamaica would get a listening ear in a sense. Reese is 24 now, he'll be 25 in December. But if we're being completely frank, Travis, does Reese stand a chance to make this centre back pool for England? John Stones, Harry Maguire, Connor Cody, Ben Godfrey. Something to think about. Face orange frowning, huh? I don't get that at all. I don't get it at all. What are you guys trying to say? I don't get it. So you guys are gonna have to clarify that for me. Warren Webster says, "We like slammed up on a roller coaster." Yeah. All right. A question: do you know if the coach or any of his assistants at the All Stars game? For the Manning Cup, it's Ferguson, and for the D Cup, it is Lenny Hyde. And Kevin Wilson opened the scoring for the Manning Cup team in the 21st minute. Then 10 minutes later, Malachi Douglas equalized for the D Cup side. And then in the 39th minute, Dejon Richards, aka Whisper, converted. So it's 2-1 at halftime. Well, it was 2-1 at halftime in the game. You know? So that's where we are. Hope that answered your question, Kaizawa. You guys have any more questions in this topic in particular? Whether it is Paul Hall, his future, the future that lies ahead with him from a coaching standpoint, because he's a Jamaican and we want what's best for him. Isn't that so? I'm sure everybody wants what's best for him. There's nobody that wouldn't want him to succeed. Everybody wants him to succeed. It would be completely unfair, or not unfair, but it would not be right if you didn't. You represented the country, went to the World Cup, did so well. So personally, I feel like Yeah, that's an opportunity. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I feel. But I'm interested to hear what you guys will have to say. When will the under 21 there be an under 21 or under 23? Well, we didn't qualify for the Olympics, so there won't be an under 23. But the under 20, we're looking at 2024. Went to York Castle and 6 from Manchester High. Lenny's my cousin Simon on my mom's side. Lenny, is your cousin? Okay, very, very nice. I meant the senior Rigger Boys coach. Oh, I'm not sure if they're on the island at this point in time. It's so annoying that when we have to call players at young age and then the Snow Jamaica wait until they're old and wash up. I think is though at Reese, there are lots of injuries that Reese had, even though he's 24 biologically. His bones and so on are basically of a 20, 21-year-old. So they're still fresh, which is why I look at him and look at Reese still as an option. Not first choice option, but I still look at Reese and not giving up hope by any means. But at this point in time, folks, let's welcome one of our loyal subscribers to chime in for a couple of minutes. Let's hear what our good friend Kimo has to say. How you doing, boss?
Good evening, Simon.
Good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, just trying to show. You're bored actually at work, so sure. Okay. So tomorrow, I guess tomorrow for the Premier League games. I'm not sure which one of the games Grimmy would be at.
Yeah, it's when I was talking to Coach Rudolph Speed, he was basically saying that he's gonna go to all of them in the sense of, games across Sunday and also Monday as well. But most likely it will be the game in Kingston. So specifically speaking, there's Cavalier Portmore tomorrow. I would really expect him to be at that game. That's
Yeah.
3, and of course Dunbehold and Arnett Gardens the same day as well. So that's basically what we have Stadium East tomorrow. And then come Monday.
The games that we'll be playing tomorrow, they're in close proximity.
Yes, absolutely.
Tony Spalding and Stadium East. I think Arborview will be playing at the Ashenheim Stadium up at JC. Yeah.
Right. That match is at 3:00. Yeah. As you know, they also the Portmore game will also be at 3. So I'm not sure I might catch the game at JC and then go to Stadium East for the 5:00 one. Perhaps that's something that could happen. And I guess the only game that he wouldn't go this weekend is the game over in Mobay, where Falkland played Mobay in the Mobay derby.
Yeah, maybe that would be like in maybe the second week, because maybe he's located in Kingston as we expect. But yeah, I'm really anxious about what is to come in the next couple of weeks. It came to me earlier. I was considering even to go and see that game in Mexico. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about it though. Thinking about it.
Well, with Mexico, Mexico has received yeah.
I heard about the ban. Yeah, I heard about the ban. So that good. That's a no. Maybe for the Gold Cup though.
The Gold Cup, that's right, and Gold Cup, as you know, in the States, so there's ample opportunities where the tournament is concerned. Hopefully, Jamaica has some games in the East Coast where we have that Jamaican diaspora to really, really pop up the stadium and get numbers behind.
Yeah, the draw is in April, but the final is already confirmed for the Sophie Stadium in LA, in the suburbs.
Right. So April 14 is the draw for the Gold Cup, and the Gold Cup itself. That's right. Yeah, man. So late June to early July. But yeah, you're right. The final in California. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I hope, knowing that they don't have the fan base, that could be a positive for us going in, knowing that they don't have the fan to back them, to give them that extra, that 12-month support. So I'm really wondering. I'm optimistic of what team the coach will pick go to Mexico.
Mhm.
Well, I guess he will pick a strong team. I guess he will pick a strong team. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen some league kits. I've seen some league kits. Also, what the training kit on the JFF page posted a few couple of hours ago
Mhm.
with the general secretary sporting the training kit. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Mhm.
But some of the prospects, I'm wondering if some of these players that we always talk about are being contacted. I know everything can't be done in a month because getting a passport is actually a process, and it's actually a process for persons that are not actually in the island.
Mhm.
And for these professionals, it can be kind of hectic, training much. If they can maybe get someone to sort it out for them. But if they are not being contacted, that's another thing as well.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I fully understand what you're saying, and let's hope that this year, 2023, there's optimism. There's things that we can progress forward with, and there's things that we can talk about. For you personally, when you look at the squad that Coach Halgrimson had, the Argentina game, the Cameroon game, based on how we looked, were you encouraged by what you saw in the early
Uh,
days?
Well, of course, I am encouraged, but most persons that are not really following these platforms or even following the prospects that are out there that can represent Jamaica won't actually know. You understand? They will see as if uh, based on previous performances and campaigns, persons who are not consistently following up the reggae boys, they will give up. They will say, yeah, a new coach come in and other coach was in earlier. Coach, it's just gonna be the same. But there's something different with Coach Algrimson that
Mhm.
give me a highbrow raise.
Mhm.
Um, to see the team that he took to, yes, we know that maybe some persons will the team that he took to Cameroon, and the Cameroon team that was fielded wasn't a strong team, but that same player by the name of Abubakar, who played in the World Cup, he actually scored in that game, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, he scored, and he played in the World Cup and scored against Brazil.
that's right.
So it
Yeah.
was a pretty strong team that we just maybe we had a makeshift team. The team didn't had a long time to prepare. About it was like 2 days worth of training session when we arrived in Cameroon, or maybe 1.5 day, and to see that we came out with a draw out of that friendly, well, it,
Mhm.
it shows that the coach actually knows what he's doing, and if he get more time with the team, maybe a 5 day, we
Mhm.
could see a good performance. And look in the Argentina game, we actually really lost that game maybe when Messi came out on the field. Yeah, we actually lost that game. Had that game been finished in maybe the 80th minute, we'd have won the game just like what the coach said in his interview.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I'm really, I really can't wait to see what the coach will do now that he's on the island. He's getting the chance to look around on the local players, so he can make a decision from here and now, and then now he will maybe I don't know if you'll get any chance
Mhm.
to maybe speak to him and
Mhm.
to show him these prospects that we have out there. So maybe he can maybe contact some of these players because we will need strong players that can go out there and be competitive against this Mexican team, or for the Gold Cup to go up against the Americans and the Canadians who are now on IRCs.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be really, really important. That's going to be
so
extremely critical.
and
Mhm.
and and looking for players at a more younger age. Maybe if we can get the players now at maybe 25 or even less, it would be good. Dexter Lambekisa is one of those persons I think should be in the squad. Omari Hutchinson as well. He did not make the Chelsea bench the other day. I'm not sure if it was due to injury or they were due to maybe the coach trying to get it right, doing a lot of makeshifting. But I guess we'll see him tomorrow, knowing that they have one of their latest signings out. But he will get opportunity based on the way Chelsea is playing. And we all know the potential that this player have. And if he shows any glimpse of consistency within the next couple of weeks before the Nations League, we just might see the England fan base chanting his name to Gareth Southgate. And that's something that we wouldn't want, but if it happens, let's see what comes out of it. But we need that player to be in the squad and in around the team because he's still learning his trade. He's still young, and he only can get better from where he is right now.
Yeah. That's gonna be extremely imperative from our standpoint. Yeah, Kimo, really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add regarding coach, players, or anything that stood out to you? Leon Bailey on the score sheet.
Yeah, Leon Bailey on the score sheet, which is good knowing that what took place. I think earlier last weekend or this week, to see him on the score sheet, so that will help his confidence because he's trying to develop some level of consistency with this new coach, and this new coach seemed like he backs him. He's giving him the chance and the opportunity, and not all the time when new coach comes in a team, they always favor a specific player. Come with a different idea and pick a 11 that he thinks will work for him. And Unai Emery seems to look like he's giving him his chance to go out there and prove himself. And I think I've seen changes in Leon Bailey's game, and I think he's getting better and better. And he's not like holding the ball too much to attract more injuries or certain kind of tackle. So I like that. The consistency from Ethan Pinnock at the back is good, knowing that we're approaching also this important game in Mexico. I wish we could get another person to partner with him, even though we know that we have Damian Lowe. But we have to remember that injury plays a key and integral role in football as well, because he was coming after injury before this long run consistent performance that he's having. Also, Jamal Lowe, I hope we can get a good run on this 6-month loan deal before the Nations League as well. So all of these players, I'm just looking to see them click at the right time. So we'll have players, Mikel Antonio as well. I'm looking to see, hopefully he can get this move even alone to Wolves. Maybe that can just change the whole mood of things with him and his performance. For me, yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. All right. Really appreciate the time. Thanks very much, General, and we'll stay in touch. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, sure.
Hope work goes well for you.
Yeah. Thanks, man. All right, take care, son.
Yeah, man. Cool, Kimo. All right, there we go, folks. That was Kimo giving his insight as well into things. Paul Hall in the hot seat. Is that something that personally we should look forward to seeing? Is that something that needs to happen? Something that we really have to think about? Something that we really have to consider? So basically how we have to look at things from all angles and things, so that's how we have to basically analyze things. So yeah, that's how I feel about everything. But folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that Paul Hall should continue the work that he's doing at QPR, gain the reputation, grow little by little, or does he and should he look at the opportunity that Portsmouth might have on the table? He might be interested. Is he number one priority in the job? Not necessarily. But if it is given or handed in his wings, Do you think he would do a good job? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch this video in particular. But let me give you an update on a channel called Sport City. Yes, Sport City. It is a channel dedicated to everything related to Jamaican sports. Football, cricket, athletics, netball, rugby league, rugby union, tennis, lacrosse, swimming, you name it, we got it on Sport City. And what is the channel designed to do? It is designed to highlight Jamaican talents across all of those sporting disciplines. If you're a Jamaican and you're playing that sport, then we got you covered on Sport City. So it's quite simple, guys. Hit the subscribe button to Sport City right now. This video is brought to you by MPEC Printery, specializing in t-shirt printing, posters, and shipping from the USA. Call 876-775-6692 or 876-337-7374. Andy Gone Nuts, 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105.